Alright everyone, it's me again. I decided instead of waiting for others to play and get my information from them, I decided to pick up the Korean version of Elune and get some hands-on experience. Before I get too deep into things, I do want to clarify something that I said in my previous Elune video. I stated that you can get units at a higher rarity than what they normally would be, which is correct, but I didn't mention that you can also get units at a lower rarity than what they normally would be. Now that we have that out of the way, to give you an idea of what I've done during my short play session, I'll let you know what I focused on. First, the reroll potential of the game. Questions about rerolls are abundant, so I'll do my best to give you some helpful answers on the early portions of the game. Second, after going into some discussion with a friend, I've come to learn that the Korean version, and thus most likely the global version, launched with some major quality of life updates that the Taiwanese version got after some time. This affects how you should go into your rerolls and what you should target in them, so I'll make sure to go into as much detail as I can. Finally, the combat and the general game feel of Elune. Now, I'm not sure if you guys actually prefer me doing these videos in this informative manner like I have been, or if you prefer a more casual video, so let me know in the comments. I do write my scripts beforehand, so it's not like it'd be difficult to change things up. Now, just before I start, I do want to clarify my terms so I don't confuse people. When I talk about a unit's tier, I mean rare, epic, legendary, and things like that. When I talk about a unit's rarity, I mean their star count, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Okay, so let's get this going because Global is coming out soon and boy do we need to get this information going around. As I said, I really wanted to flesh out the information on reroll potential in this game and what you should be concerned about. So, as to be completely clear, this is for the Korean version of the game, which is what the video I'm talking over shows. Global should be the same in terms of rewards, but in case it isn't, I do just want to make clear this isn't guaranteed for Global. The character pools might also be different, and there might be some changes on how some things work. Hopefully I kinda get my point across with that. So, once you clear Chapter 1-2, you're directed to do a single roll that the game makes a freebie for you. This can actually be a legendary if you're lucky, so that's 1 unit reroll chance that you have already. Now that you can access the server launch rewards that are in your mailbox, let's grab the single roll tickets and the multi-ticket. This gives us 14 more unit rerolls. The multi-ticket gives you 10 plus 1, and single rolls are single rolls. If you are impatient to roll like I am, let's do these real quickly. Oh, and that's a legendary. And it's 5-star. Well, hopefully I'm this lucky come Global. To access the 30 reroll section of the game, you need to clear Chapter 1-5. So let's clear a path there real quick. Okay, now that we have the one item everyone is probably super hype about, I do need to mention something rather important about all those reroll chances. In my experience with them, which was well into the hundreds of rerolls to get some numbers down, I never obtained anything higher than a 3-star. And after asking around, it seems that this section of the reroll is locked to 3-star units only. To show you, I'll do all 30 rerolls real quick to kinda show you. As you can see, no matter the tier of the unit, rare to legendary, they're all 3 stars. You can also see the general chance of getting a legendary from all of these rolls. As a side note, my SSR chances on this reroll gacha seem to be about 1.85% after I did 300 rerolls, so that's 10 alts into the fire. Oh, and thinking about alts, you can change your character name for only 100 gems, so don't worry about making oddly named alts while you do your reroll spam. Now, why is the 3-star lock such a big deal, you may wonder? Well, to explain properly, I'll need to talk about those quality of life updates I mentioned, but just before that real quick, just so we're all on the same page and you don't have any extra questions, you might have noticed that there's another 30 reroll section. Well, let's do a couple rolls here and I'll explain what this is. So if you're looking at the rarity of the units that are popping up, you can actually see that these units can go above 3 stars. From my few hundred goes at this, it has a much higher chance of giving you higher than normal rarity units. However, the caveat to this is the boosted rate requires real money to keep. Note that the amount isn't in American dollars, but Canadian. It seems to localize to your currency, which I find is convenient. Now, personally, I'm going to recommend don't tease yourself with this gacha unless you plan on spending money on this game. There's no point salivating and possibly spending money you didn't originally want to. Alright, enough stalling. Let's get on to the quality of life updates I was talking about. So this here is the login reward screen for this month. This is one of the quality of life updates that Korea and probably global gets. Let's go item by item in a week to kind of explain what these items are for. The first column, coins. Pretty simple, used for all sorts of things from upgrading to purchasing items. Third column, gems. You know what these are for, I imagine, and it seems the information I got from Milk's post was actually correct for the Korean version. Global may still change though, so remember that. Fourth column is hearts. These are for the friend gacha, or whatever this game refers to it as. There's also some items in the shop that you can buy with the friend points. Fifth column, that's the AP symbol for this game. These are APs how you do missions and actually play. The sixth column is orbs. They're used here on the bingo screen to obtain rewards. Once you finish a row or column, you also get some extra stuff. It's pretty neat. Now the final column is unit rewards. The first two are a 4-star epic and legendary unit, and then the last two are a 5-star epic and legendary. Now, these units are randomized, so don't get your hopes too high on getting something specific. Now, you're probably wondering why I skipped those weird bean seed things in the second column. Simple. They need a decent amount of explanation because of what they do and what's been changed due to them. So to explain why these seeds are so important, we should discuss how Elune originally handled upgrading a unit's rarity. First, let's use an example. I have a 3-star rare unit. Let's say I wanted to upgrade this 3-star to a 4-star rare. Easy enough, I guess. First, I would need to gather 3 units of the 3-star rarity that are also rare. Can't be epic, can't be legendary, has to be rare. So, same tier. I can now upgrade my 3-star rare to a 4-star rare. Alright, well, now I want to upgrade this 4-star rare to a 5-star rare. Okay, well, now I need 4 4-star rares. If you haven't clued in as to why this method isn't desirable, let's change it up to be a legendary. I have a 5-star legendary that I want to upgrade to a 6-star. And yes, rarity does go up to 6-star in this. Forgot to mention that the last time, since it's out of the scope of the gacha, for the most part. To upgrade my legendary, I need 5 5-star legendary units. Now, you didn't require duplicates of the unit in particular for this, but can you see how difficult this would be for free-to-play players to actually accomplish? Well, good news, it's now much more flexible because of this quality of life update. You just need a specific number of these bean-like seeds, and your unit's rarity can go up. Well, okay, these small seeds and then a handful of larger seeds for your unit's roll. Now, how do you get these small seeds, you may ask? Easy enough, logins, as you can see, and you can also assume that there'll be rewards for other things, events or whatnot. But you can also get them from breaking down units. A unit's rarity and tier will affect how many seeds that you're going to get, so keep that in mind. But this does give you a good way to burn excess units that you'd never use. You can also get orbs from breaking down units, so 2 for 1. In my opinion, even though whales obviously still have the advantage, it's been reduced by a large margin due to the seed system. Okay, so with all that, you're probably wondering, how does that affect your rerolling? Well, due to the 30 rerolls being locked to 3-star, your best early game advantage unit will be from one of the 15 actual gacha rerolls you got earlier. Mine was the 5-star Caroline I got, for example. Since it would cost a ton to upgrade any 3-star legendaries the 30 reroll gacha gives you, you may wish to concern yourself more with getting good epics in there. But hey, you know what, if you want to just get your hands on a bunch of legendaries, go ahead. The updated system for raising rarity makes beefing them up a relatively easier endeavor than it would have been with the old system. Of course, ultimately, it is up to you on how you wish to handle your rerolls. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. Personally, I like focusing on one unit and then going on to the other ones. Thing is though, I don't think it'll work out too well in a game like this, where you have to use 5 characters in combat at once. But I'm gonna give it the old college try anyways. So the last thing, and arguably the most important, the general feel of Elune. Well, after a quarter of a day playing around and making a handful of alt accounts to test the reroll mechanics and see how the early game feels under different conditions, I'd say it's fun. I am slightly concerned about how the Korean version actually just has an entire section of the shop filled with real money transaction items, lots of head start items and things like that. Hopefully Global doesn't have the same shop, but they are a company first and foremost. I can't really blame them for giving options to people that are willing to pay for it. Anyways, I'm not here to gripe about mobile games doing mobile game things. The menus feel nice, they're snappy, but I think the in-combat screen could use a little polish on the damage information and the health bars. You might remember how I mentioned that the UI for Elune reminds me of a classic MMO. Well, it seems they drew more inspiration from those here, apparently. Obviously, in terms of gameplay, I can't really comment on the mid-game, or PvP, due to not actually getting to that point. But I think after my short burst of playtime that there's enough here to thoroughly enjoy, as long as you don't mind the grind involved. But that's pretty much every mobile game these days, right? I know it sounds like I'm not giving much feedback about the game, but these types of games are really dependent on the mid-game and end-game, which just isn't a feasible goal to reach before global releases. And personally, I don't want to invest too much time in this when I'd prefer playing on global. So with that, I'll wrap up this video here. Thanks for watching. Leaving a comment, liking this video, or subscribing really helps this channel and my videos get more eyes on it, which will help more people out. So think about doing that if you have the time. As always, link to the Elune subreddit and Discord are below, and you can head there if you want to interact with the community. Peace, and I will see you in the next video.